Afternoon. Afternoon, folks. Hope you are all well. Who's in the room today? We've got FX. How you doing, buddy? John, how you doing, pal? Einrib, Sahel, Sparks Red, Ran, Bosjan, Pet, Kovsek. I'm going to butcher your name. Hi, mate. Good to see you. I haven't seen you before. Matthew, how you doing? Are there any crypto entries? I don't have any crypto on my list today. I'm not there's no crypto on my list today, to be honest. Oh, you're from down under. I didn't think that with your name, mate. So before we get into it, the Friday competition. Unfortunately, I didn't win it. I always try and win it, but I believe this has actually moved a lot further down than a lot of us thought. I thought, we may come here and kind of do this before we ended up going to the downside, and we had a pretty decent move just throughout the week. So I believe, I don't know if he's in here, Clarence won. So everybody had 1.15, 1515. Ran, you were close. You were close, 148. I think you were second, actually. Athila, 147. Oh, you're third, sorry. So Clarence, well done. You are the winner of the $50 competition. If you are new, we are getting more people on this stream, which is great, so thank you for that. If you don't know what it is, it's just a little fun competition on Monday where we predict the price of a certain pair or index, commodity, crypto, whatever it is, and the person who's closest on a Friday wins $50, which can be PayPal to you in cash, or you can... Am I coming through okay? Am I coming through? Hello? Testing. Yeah, okay, sorry. There was a little buffer on mine, on my thing. So yeah, well done, Clarence. Now, let's get into the chart, shall we? So I'll go through the first thing I've got, which is my Euro-Swiss trade. So I've put an order in for this. It's not triggered yet. It's probably, if it does get triggered today, we'll have to wait and see. But it certainly is. Clarence, how you doing, buddy? You won the $50. Well done. But it certainly is a trade. So I've entered into this as a sell stop here. We are coming from a downtrending environment. If we look at the daily here is on a healthy downtrend for me. We are correcting here through time rather than through price. You notice here we did that before. So at this section, we did it before. Caught up basically around that golden 20 and continued to the downside. So then we had our impulse and we're doing kind of the same thing. So 20 period is starting to catch up now, again, correcting through time. The daily for me, going with that trend, is quite nice. Quite nice. I'm not going to pick a bottom in that. And the setup came on this 4 hour. Head and shoulders here, a nice corrective pattern. This wasn't an aggressive entry, by the way, if you are thinking that, because it's not on high volume. But it's certainly a good indicator that price may want to move to the downside. What it's doing now, I don't mind. I don't actually mind this at all. Again, we're getting another slight 20 period catch up. So for me, taking a break to the downside it's fine, if it does indeed break. Now, if this, because obviously our stop's about 47 pips now, so it's about a 47 pip stop here. But if I get an anchor here, and if you don't know what an anchor is, it's essentially you get 2 bars either side that is lower. That's your downtrending anchor. For an uptrend, you got 2 bars either side that is higher. That's your uptrending anchor. If this turns into an anchor and we get price action that doesn't trigger me in, but comes down, let's say something like this, today or whenever, if indeed that does even happen, I'll move my stop down to here. Or basically, I'll put a new trade in where the stop will only be, I believe it's about 30 pips. Yeah, so 30 pips rather than 47. So it just increases your risk reward. But I can't do that yet because it's not a valid anchor. This anything could happen here. We could come up, we can come down, whatever. But if I do get that, which I kind of want to get, to be honest with you, over the next 8 or 12 hours, something like that, I will put a new trade in for a better kind of risk reward on that break. But I like that. I like it. It's simple trend theory. I know we've gone quite far, but considering what we've done and considering what we've had here, For me, it's good enough for trend continuation. Like I said, I'm not going to pick a bottom in this. If we hadn't had this price action here and this 20 period catch up, remember markets have a memory, then I wouldn't take it. But I like it, so I will. So yeah, I'm in that, and if it goes down, then perfect. There's also Sohail here. Sohail's here, right? Sohail, you thanks for that message, by the way, because this is certainly a potential setup as well. We've got our head and shoulders or V reversal here on the hourly, so you can actually look. If I zoom in, you can actually look for a breakout retest on the hourly as well. Again, you prefer a little bit of consolidation, breakout retest, move to the downside. So that I've actually added into my watch list as a potential breakout retest, potential breakout retest potential as well. So thanks for that, Sahil. I appreciate that. I didn't actually see that this morning, but it's certainly valid. And this is nice. This is great. Within our V reversals, the best V reversals come against the trend. So if we are on a downtrend like we are now, the best V reversals are essentially like this. Because that's, for me, if we look where it went to, where do you think that went to? What do you think is here for retail? Prize for the winner. What do you think is there? What do you think a lot of things have got taken out of, essentially? Nobody? Stops. Right? I expect there's a lot of retail stops there in our V reversal against the trend, taking out those stops and now continuing to the downside. So that's the best context for our V reversal, is against the trend. So we've got an uptrend, we've got a high here, let's say, we come back in V reversal, possibly taking people out, and then continue to the upside. That for me is what I like the best. Stops, yeah, well done, Charlie. There may be just a lag on my stream, to be honest. But yeah, this looks good as well for a potential breakout retest. Now, I've also got pound Swiss on my list. So pound Swiss here. Am I coming through okay, guys? I'm not sure if there's a lag. Let me know if there's a lag or something. Sometimes I'm getting a lag on my stream here. Now, the difference is between the pound Swiss. So you can see the pound Swiss looks quite similar to Euro Swiss here in terms of our cup with handle. Okay, it's actually coming up a little bit now, but the main difference is this daily. So this daily doesn't look as digested enough as Euro Swiss to take this to the downside. Okay, we've not had any corrective here before. We've just had this massive impulse to the downside. So that's one of the big things, as you know. Bit of a lag, okay, fair enough. I'm not sure why that's happening today, to be honest. But yeah, it's basically not enough digestion for me on this daily chart to take this to the downside. Notice again, using that simple 20. You know, I definitely do think you need to have a 20 or 21 EMA, something around that area on your charts, just as kind of a visual guide to get in at the right time. So this is on my list, pound Swiss, but it needs to correct a little bit more, to be honest. I'll just go through my list right now since I'm doing it. Euro NZD was on it, and potentially, so I was looking at this on all three charts. Okay, so I was looking at a breakout retest here from our cup with handle, broke through the area. It didn't give me a retest I liked. Okay, this is not a retest that I particularly like. So after this is gone, after this basically this 20 period is caught up and I don't get a retest, I simply move down to the hourly chart or up to the hourly chart, look for the retest there. Now I didn't get it. This, albeit you could have probably bought this candle, that's not really something I like to see. So, and also the candle didn't come on high volume. So for me, it wasn't a retest. So then I'm moving up to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, the context here, Euro NZD, head and shoulders, nice little reload. And we're possibly in our ABC, possibly. So possibly A, B, C. If this closes as a nice hammer, i.e. like this, it could be something I take to the upside. You know, it's not good that this failed at this area. Okay, this is certainly a bullish bar and a bullish Marabuzo that just completely failed, but it can be part of our B wave. So if we get a decent close here on the 4 hour and it doesn't look like it's going to happen, then maybe we can consider this C. If it doesn't happen on this 4 hour, it could potentially happen the next, where we get our little bit more 20 catch up and you get a bar that looks like this, then it could be decent to move to the upside. We've got, with my 4 hour breakout retests, so with my 4 hour breakout retests, I quite like them because I can sell the actual candle. So within my 30 minute and 1 hour, I have to put my stop at the previous swing. But with my 4 hour breakout retest, so if we do have that hammer, which is my favorite catalyst on high volume, my stop goes underneath the candle and I buy the market. So the risk reward on them is quite good. But again, with kind of everything I say, you need a reason to enter. And at the moment, I don't have that reason yet. Don't have that reason. Space Colonist. Can you look at Swiss yen on the 4 hour, head and shoulder starting around the 15th of October, waiting for a break of the shoulder low and retest for a short? Yeah, I'll look at that after my list. Madness, what's your opinion on Euro Yen? Okay, yeah, if you want me to look at anything, put it in the chat and I'll do it after my watch list. So Euro NZD, silver. Now, silver is interesting because, right, remember we talked about this aggressive early entry. So right here, aggressive early entry on high volume, essentially a pullback, but obviously we're at this area where we're looking to break through. So I'm still monitoring this. What I want to do is put on a SAR because I was thinking about the trade management. You know, I think we've kind of talked about this, the trade management of the aggressive entry. And I think what I want to do with it is essentially go for the home run on every time I take one of these things, because that's what we're doing. We're trying to get the most out of it. And I think the best way to do that is to use this SAR. If you don't know what the SAR is, essentially it's called stop and reverse. Essentially, it's these little dots on the chart. So if we say we sold the market here, the dots are above the market, and we got a dot below on this particular candle. This is where we get out of our trade. So that's essentially, I'm not going to go into the coding and anything, but that's essentially what the SAR is. And it's great for getting onto big moves, right? Big moves. And it's an indicator that I kind of like. You know, I'm not massively indicator heavy, but this is something that I certainly do like. And the good thing is it makes it mechanical, right? So we just wait until there's one dot above price action and then we're out. So this is what I'm going to wait on for this aggressive entry. I think we would probably, if we're in this trade, you have to move that to break even now, certainly. And yeah, let's wait and see how this develops. But in terms of my strategy, what I want to see is a tag on this 200. Okay, so for a retest here, if it's not tagged the 200, I would rather see these orders filled to give a catalyst here to go to the upside. But if we haven't, it puts a little bit of doubt in my mind because I just don't like doing that. So if this was to push up, tag that area, then retest and go to the upside, then that would be fine. If it doesn't, I probably have to take this off my list because the risk reward isn't there, because that 200 for me is still in the way. So silver on that aggressive entry looks quite good. Whether we get that on the daily for a retest, we'll just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see. Swiss yen, I actually have Swiss yen on my list, space, so I'll go into that now. Swiss yen, 4 hour head and shoulders. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? I presume you're looking at this, right? Which is, I mean, you got 15th of October, so here. So you're talking about a larger structure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the same kind of thing. What I want here is a little bit more at this area. Okay, so we've had a larger basing structure. For me, if you think about that 30-50 rule, we're kind of getting there with our digestion period because this is the most important area of your breakout. Now, the good thing about it is the 20 period is close by. Okay, but I would prefer this to kind of do this and then move to the downside. The problem with counter trend is if this 200 comes into play with 1-to-1, but I like it. I've got it on my list. The daily was looking quite short. There is a possibility that it turns into that on the daily before continuation to the downside. But we've got some, I would say, indecision daily candles here. And I know in the 4 hour you look at it and it's part of this structure, which is good. But you know, it could go short. right? At this point in time, it looked good for short. But at this point, maybe we're just consolidating under the 20. I mean, the 20 is starting to curl around. I don't like this for continuation to the upside, put it that way. I do like it short, and I think I would take it if I get a little bit more at this area to take the breakout to the downside. So Swiss yen, I kind of agree with you. Your bias of a breakout retest is a safer option. But what I found on, or maybe you can get on the smaller time frames, you look at the 1 hour. It's actually a setup there in the 1 hour as well. So you could look on these smaller time frames. If we just take it from this section here, you know, you've actually potentially got a setup there for this breakout. I can't take the breakouts on the hourly time frame, but breakout retest to go to the downside. So actually, I'm going to add that to my list, you know, Swiss yen short. That doesn't look too bad. 1 hour, V reversal, counter trend though. So yeah, I mean, I've got it on my list space. I kind of like it. I need a bit more here, but let's say this breaks without me here, then I can come down to this hourly time frame and look for that breakout retest. So I kind of like the trade. You know, I kind of like the trade. I just worry about these last 2-3 days on the daily. But again, you're not going to get everything you like, right? Certainly with counter trend, you're certainly not getting everything you like. You've got to kind of make your decision on, is there enough there for me to get into it? And if I'm taking a counter trend break, there's really got to be that squeeze into the area. You know, it's got to be really nice because we want that pop off to the downside, certainly when you're taking a break counter trend. And finally, pound Swiss. Pound Swiss, I think, is the last one on my list. I've got GA. GA potential longs here. Again, this is not an aggressive entry. You could look at this as potential cup with handle, AB shallow C. But there's not enough volume on that catalyst. It would have been a catalyst, but not enough volume for an aggressive entry. The good thing about this, and that it's continuing here, is we're getting that 200 coming down. So if we come on tag that area again, multiple tags is what I like, and give us our potential cup with handle, the breakout should be above that 200, above that 20, old resistance becoming new support. And, you know, on this daily, it'll be above that 200, above that 20. The pullback, it is counter trend, see? This is counter trend. But I just kind of like it long. You know, certainly if it sets up, you know, you got to think if it sets up, we're coming here. Okay? And if we break to the upside, this pullback would look slightly different than what it is now. You got to think about what price action would look like if we break above that area. And I think it'll look less of like a pullback and more, for example, like the dollar here. The dollar here on this 4 hour, kind of more like this, right? Where sometimes you get that reaction. I mean, look here as well. You know, that kind of climactic pullback where it starts off fine and then gets a little bit stronger and we move to the upside. So maybe we get that on GA, possibly. It's not confirmed yet if it doesn't break, but possibly. And pound Swiss, I went into pound Swiss, sorry. So pound Swiss I'm looking at as well, but that'll be a trade for next week. It needs a few more days of consolidation. What's my opinion? Yeah, so let me know if you want me to look at anything, guys. Also, if you are watching, like the stream, please. Try to get me to 25 likes. 25 likes a stream would be brilliant. Make my Friday. Going off for a barbecue later to drink a few beers. How's everybody's trading week been, by the way? Have you been making money? I've not taken a single trade. No, actually, that's a lie. I took a scalp on the Kiwi dollar. But I need something because, you know, this FTMO finishes at the end of the month. And I still got plenty of time, right? I've still got plenty of time. But I need to get some trades in. You know, I need to get some trades in. At the moment, I'm, you know, just going to put my 0.01 lots and get my 10 days and move on to the next one. It's just, you know, I can't take trades that are not there. But that's the problem with this FTMO nonsense, is you've only got 30 fucking days, which is a nightmare for me. Okay, sorry, Euro yen. Euro yen. Euro yen's at that 200. Bias would be short. This is going out with trend continuation, certainly. you know, with the extent of this pullback and within this candle, it's quite strong. So your bias probably has to be short. And do you know what? That doesn't look too bad. If you look at this here, okay, it's not a setup for me, but if this 4 hour closes, okay, let's look at the volume on this. So we've got a breakthrough of the area on volume. You've essentially got a retest on lowering volume, and you're getting your potential catalyst on higher volume. So this is almost a quasi falling 3. It's actually a falling 5. A falling 5 here, because you've got this initial bar on volume and you've got this last bar on volume. And what this pattern is known as is an igniting pattern. So it's technically supposed to ignite moves to the downside. That's not always the case, but that's what it's technically supposed to do. The only issue is that 200, you know, we've not closed underneath it. But if you do get some decent price action here, oh, thanks guys, appreciate that. I appreciate the 25. Give me a 30, go on. Thanks guys, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, if this ignites the move, the 4 hour that looks good. The 4 hour looks good. There's no doubt about it. Healthy trend, right? And look at that. That's probably a V reversal on smaller time frames. Take some stops out against the trend. Thank you very much. Brokers making their money, and we move to the downside. So yeah, it's not bad. If the 4 hour closes like that, I would certainly rather be selling it than buying it. You asked me that, Euro Yen madness. Yeah, it could be a decent trade, you know. And if it does decide to drop today, you close beneath the 200, the yen wants to get some strength, it can certainly move. It can certainly move. So, yeah, Euro Yen looks decent to the downside. Ian, how you doing, mate? Just made it in. Good to see you, pal. Sahil. CAD Yen, 1 hour short. CAD Yen. I mean, it's the same thing, right? It's probably, CAD Yen's in a better position on the daily, but it's also in a position where, okay, we've come from here. So, I mean, could it be this? Maybe. You still have to recognize that CAD Yen to the downside is counter trend, but price action here is dictating it's not the nicest pullback, so I'd rather be short right now than long. And yeah, I mean, I think this is in a better position than Euro Yen. It could give you that could give you more profit than Euro Yen because it can move a little bit longer, right? So if you got the same thing, you've got a break underneath that level from your V reversal. Again, not a setup I would take, but that, I mean, this particular bar, if that closes like that, that would be a nice short, I think. Stops under there. Sell that market. CAD Yen, the SPX coming off a little bit in terms of pullback strength. The yen has been relatively strong. Yeah, I think in terms of that, I mean, look at your hourly as well. Look at this. Nice corrective, breaking out of that. So, yeah, I mean, CAD Yen to the downside on the hourly makes sense for me. Absolutely. Sale, absolutely. Aussie Kiwi, AUD NZD. Yeah, I know, Sale. I just don't. I don't mind being risky. You know, I don't mind being risky. I'm going down to the scalping charts and stuff, but if I can't find anything, I can't find anything. The main thing is, Sahil, right, is if let's say for example, I take Euro Swiss and it gets me 2R, that's me up to $12,000, okay? So if I get that, for example, just as a scenario. So if I get that, no, sorry, $8,000, not $12,000, $8,000. Well, actually $9,000 because I'm about $1,000 up. So that should guarantee my free repeat. Okay, so if I don't get a trade, I do the 0.01 to make sure I've done 10 trading days. Then I've got $12,000. I keep saying 12,000, $8,000 or $9,000 to play with on that last week. Okay, so as long as I guarantee that free repeat, and if it's 3%, 2%, 1%, whatever it is, that's fine by me because I've still got, it's only the 12th of November, right? So I've still got 1, 2 and a bit weeks to go. That's a long time to be trading, and certainly because we've gone through the quiet times, there could be some things setting up. So I'm not trying to force it right now. I've done that before in the past, and it never ends well. For me, I always just say to myself, right, I've still got 2.5 weeks left. It takes one trade. You could have a 4-hour trade. You could have whatever. It takes one trade to make a massive difference. And even if I do get that, you know, that $8,000 or $9,000 to play with on a scalping chart in the last 2 days, maybe I get lucky, you know, maybe I get lucky. So yeah, I've got a tactic, mate. I've done it. I've done the FTMO too many times in the past. So I've got my tactic, and trying to force it when I don't need to force it never works out, essentially. So Sparks, Aussie New Zealand. Okay. Aussie New Zealand, you've got a slight morning star here on the daily. Actually, I think a morning star with increasing volume, is it? Yeah. So that's not a bad trend change or a pullback indicator. You've got morning star, but the morning star, what I like to see it is on increasing volume. So if we get more volume than this initial bar, that's great. Or if we get, for example, something like this, this is still okay. Just as long as these two bars have more volume than the initial one. That's what I like to see with a morning star. So yeah, Aussie New Zealand's in pullback. You know, the bias has got to be to the downside on this 4 hour. But saying that, on this 4 hour, that doesn't look too bad for movement. You'll probably possibly get up here. Maybe if you break underneath this structure, you could look short. The bias is still short, but this particular pattern is a little bit worrying, I would have to say, because that looks quite bullish. Albeit you didn't get massive volume on this last candle. If this closes, again, if you get your evening star here, if you get your evening star here, could look good for continuation to the downside. It could be a decent place to enter, considering you're probably here at this resistance area. But I would just be a little bit worried about that. Maybe you could get a deeper pullback for continuation. As I said, the bias has got to be to the downside. You know, maybe a pullback to that 20, kind of like what we got here. You might need the same thing again before continuation. That's what I think, maybe on Aussie New Zealand. 36 in the room. That is a record. Thank you very much, guys. If you can like the stream, I appreciate that. But thank you all for joining in. Hope you get some value here. Opinion on gold longs. Gold longs. Okay. Gold's had a hell of a move. So I don't know if Fonny's here. Fonny's a part of RTFX. And I remember, it must have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago, she was asking me, why is gold going long if news came out in a certain way? But, you know, we look at simple chart theory. We had a nice corrective there. And my favorite kind of ABC, outside bullish engulfing here at the end of the corrective. And from there, closed above the 200, we've kind of pushed on. So gold looks long. I was looking at here yesterday. I didn't quite get the setup. It has moved quite decently on this 4 hour. It may need a daily pullback. So same with the SPX. You know, as we looked at on the 4 hour, you know, we had a 4 hour pullback, but I think you need to look at this on the daily because of the extent we've moved. And I think we probably have to do that as well with what gold is doing because of the extent we have moved. So I like gold longs. I would like it a little bit more if we did this. You know, would I be going long here? Not on this 4 hour. Not on that 4 hour. I wouldn't be going long here. I wouldn't like this price action to go long. And that's not saying it can't go long. When gold moves and gold has its momentum, it certainly can go long. But I'd be waiting for something nicer on this daily, a nicer pullback, certainly to this zone. I think that's your buy zone. 20 period catch up, continuation longs. So yeah, I wouldn't be buying it just yet, to be honest with you, Einrib. I think you have to be a little bit patient with it. But that's not saying, I mean, if you get a pullback to the 20, right, and you get a reason to enter, you've not got a reason to enter long right now. You get a reason to enter to go long, then yeah, when gold has momentum, it can go. It can go. For the short side, yeah. So Ian, you're long EuroCAD. EuroCAD. I had that on my list the other day. Yeah, do you know what? I was going to put this on my list today, Ian, but I thought I was going to wait until Monday to do that. Yeah, I don't mind that. V, digestion. It's not enough digestion for me to go long. We do have that 200 above, so if you get a little bit more here for continuation longs, yeah, You know, EuroCAD has been flirting with going short, but every time it's tried to go short here, it's been bought into. Every time it's tried to go short, it's been bought into, which doesn't mean to say this is going to change trend. But for example, when you have pullbacks, right? So when you have pullbacks, you have two types. You have the pullback through time, or you have not a pullback. You have correction through time, or your correction through price. What you don't normally get is both of them, right? So this, for me, is correcting through time. If we end up here, it's not saying it can't do this, but it's certainly not something I like to see. So if you put a fib on it, right, from this move, really from there to the downside, your 50% is actually here. Your 40, 60 box is here, which is quite some time away. But in terms of trend continuation and buying on pullbacks, I wouldn't like to see this, and then this. It's just a mess in terms of trend theory. So if it does break out of this correction through time, I would be thinking maybe more a change of trend. Maybe. Could be. So yeah, I mean, I like that idea, Ian. I like the fact that you know, market's not letting it push to the downside. So yeah, I mean, yeah, don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all. Ran, from your research, is FTMO the best? Yeah, I mean, if you check all the reviews, right, and obviously with all the stuff that happened with, what was it, funding talent? Yeah, with FTMO, what they seem to do is they're very big on your payouts. So they even kind of check back. So when I get a payout, they check back and saying, have you got your payout? And they're actually really good with that. So I think reputation for them is massive, which is one of the reasons why I like them, because I've never had a problem with them. So I think FTMO, yeah, I think my Forex funds seem to be the second or one of the top options as well. I don't know about Trader Central. But for me, after I get this 200, I'm going straight to my Forex funds. I don't know who I'm going to go after that. That's obviously quite a little bit away, because I still need to get max my Forex funds and then go to the next one. But maybe I won't even need to do any more after those two. Because essentially, I don't want to be a funded trader forever, right? So I want to build up a nest egg and then put it into my own account, so I don't have to deal with, you know, anything that potentially could happen with these funded accounts, right, or funded providers. Because let's be honest, it could happen to anybody. You never know. You never know. So my plan is, okay, I don't trade off my own money now, but essentially you still want to get funded, get to the point where you can make a lot of money from it, and then use that money, get a nest egg, put it into your own account, and then you don't really need to do it in case something ever happens with these funded providers, you know? Which I don't think that's going to happen with FTMO, certainly, but you never know. Good old breakout retest, yeah, my bread and butter. Hey James, I'm EuroCAD long hourly level. Yeah, I just did EuroCAD actually. Yeah, I like that. EuroCAD long from here. Yeah, that would make sense. Stops under there, go long, looks to be a possible end of corrective. Maybe an ABC. Movement to the upside. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I'd rather be long than short. I bought the dip on news a couple of weeks ago, got 1 hour profit and sitting on risk-free trade. Yeah, I would let that run. EuroCAD and Euro NZD looks bottom to me. Yeah, I agree with that. I like EuroCAD to the upside. I mean, you guys know I like Euro NZD to the upside. When does this 4 hour close? I thought this 4 hour must close in 30 minutes, right? Or 25 minutes. Getting some volume there. Yeah, it's 25 minutes, right? Because the clocks have changed. I'll look at that in 25 minutes, you know, EN. 20 period catch up. The only thing I don't like about it is this. You know, really it should have gone from there. But if it's part of our ABC, let's look at the smaller time frames. 25, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I always get mixed up because our clocks, I don't think our clocks change, but obviously now we're an hour later everywhere. I don't know, guys, you know. I think maybe I wait for another 4 hour with this Euro NZD. I'm just not... Just something in my gut tells me to wait for another 4 hour. And maybe if you get that double confirmation there, just because we haven't followed through yet. I do like it long, but just because we haven't followed through yet from that 4 hour, you know what I would... I just want a little bit more, you know. Maybe I'm being pernickety, but there's something about that retest that we've fallen off from here that I don't like. But make no mistake, this is nice. That's nice. You know, sellers trying to take it down. It's been rejected and pushing back up. I'm going to think about that for 25 minutes. I'm going to think about it. Take a look at the weekly. Euro NZD. Yeah, I mean, the weekly's bearish, isn't it? It is counter trend. You got this liquidity zone roughly here where it's at now. The thing about this is I like the daily, right? I like the daily. I like the daily there. But yeah, I'm gonna think about that for 25 minutes, to be honest. Because it may be something I want to take, but I don't know if I should take it. Yeah, it's counter trend. Yeah, for sure that's counter trend. Yeah, definitely counter trend. But with your counter trend entries, you've got confluence there, right? So yeah, let me go and oh shit. Oh, take that away. Let me go and yeah. Put it this way, I like Euro Swiss to the downside better. I like this trade to the downside better. Like for me, when I get that gut feeling, like I know I like that and I want to take it. And ideally, what I want to take it, I don't want it to break today. I'd rather it do this and I can go for a better stop. But with Euro NZD, I have that gut feeling that I need a little bit more, and I think I'll do that. What would you target? 1.65 on Euro NZD. 1.65. I mean, where would you target? 1.65? I wouldn't be looking for as much as if you get that much out of it, then great. So let's say I take this. Let's say I take this trade, for example. I'm not going to yet, but if I take that trade, stop would be there. My first TP would be a 1-to-1, and I let the rest run as much as it wants to run. So that's kind of how I do my trade management. But if you do have if this head and shoulders takes, remember the premise of the head and shoulders is a trend change pattern, right? So if it does take and we change trend, yeah, I mean, would make sense that this could move decently to the upside. Look, do I like where the SPX is? Do I think the SPX should be there? No. You know, should the commodities be strong? Probably not. Do I think fundamentally it makes sense? Absolutely not. But anyway, let's see. I don't know, guys. 33 likes. Thank you very much for that. If there's anything else you want me to look at, let me know. I'll be watching that Euro NZD. Euro Swiss is quite nice. Euro Swiss has the hourly as well, right? Euro Swiss. Yeah, Euro Swiss is potential breakout retest as well. Probably not today, but let's wait and see. So if I take the breakout in the 4 hour, just so you guys know, let's say it does break through, I can take the breakout retest on the 1 hour as well, if that indeed does set up. So I'm okay with that, with doubling up on 2 trades. So say, oh, there you go, FTMO tactic. I'm absolutely fine doing that, and that's, $8,000 on a trade. I get 3R or 2.5R, and I've passed my FTMO. Thank you very much. That would be lovely. Anyway. All right, guys, have a great weekend. I'll leave it there. Oh, am I still going through? I'll leave it there. Thank you all for... do you use the EAs on FTMO? No, I don't. No. I don't. Thoughts on cable? Oh, God, you're getting in here at the end, Rajesh. Fine, I'll do cable, and that's it. I'm going for a beer. I don't care about the markets today. My order's in. The set and forget order. I can't see any breakout retests happening, to be honest. Pound dollar, yeah, maybe a pullback here, considering where the DXY is. Pound dollar, breakout retest, move to the downside. There you go. There's my, always look for this. Maybe look for stop locations. Very similar to what Pound Swiss did. So Lam asked me yesterday. See, once you get me going, I'll start going before. On this section here, against trend, look at that V reversal. Boom. Stops out. Thank you very much. Move to the downside. Like, irrespective of what's happening now, That is a stop punt for me. Stop punts, manipulation. Do you know what? I've never been a whiskey drinker, Ran. My brother is a big whiskey drinker. Even as a Scotsman, I should be bad at saying that, but I've never been a fan of whiskey. You give me a nice draft pint of Peroni, that for me is I'm happy. I'm a happy man. No matter how rich I get, a nice draft pint of Peroni, then I'm happy. And I went to the gym all week this week as well. Every day this week I went to the gym. So I've got my cheat day. Anyway, I better go, guys, because I've got to go in 20 minutes. Thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate it. If you don't like the stream, like the stream. If you are interested in RTFX, links there, 7-day free trial, 50K monthly FTMO, $200 giveaway every month. And congrats, Clarence. Send me a message on Instagram. Or if you're on somewhere else, just get a hold of me so I can send you that 50. If not, I'll keep it to myself. But have a great weekend all. I'll see you all on Monday where we do it all over again. Cheers, guys. Peace.